we were talking about the natural base e, and we want to graph the natural base e functions. So we have sketch the graph y equals 1/2 e raised to the negative x plus 1. Because we have a negative x, we know that this is going to be a decay function with the natural base e, which is 2.7. And the first thing that I want to do when I'm graphing this, or the first thing that I do, is I pick the points that I want to substitute in for the x. So in this case, I'm going to do 0 and 1. And I'm going to forget about this part right now. I'm just going to focus on the 1/2 e to the negative x. So 1/2 e to the negative 0, because I'm substituting 0 in for x. Anything to the 0 power is 1, so this ends up becoming 1/2. And then we can do the same thing with 1. So 1/2 e to the negative 1. Another way that we can write e to the negative 1, we can write this as 1/2, and negative 1 just means that we're going to put it over 1, so 2.7. We can leave it at that for right now. And then when we multiply that out, we get about 0.18 when we multiply 1/2 times 2.74 and put it over 1. So this is equal to about 0.18. So that was this first part of the function right here. We're just focused on the 1/2 e to the negative x power. So that was the part that we're focused on. Now we have to add the 1 to it. So what that 1 means is basically all we're going to do is we're going to say we're going to take the y values and we're going to add 1 to it. And that will give us some new y values. Our x values are going to stay the same of 0 and 1. And all we're going to do is add 1 to the y values. So then we get 1.5 and we get 1.18. So this part right here is also going to be our asymptote. So we're going to have a line at y is equal to 1. So we're going to have a graph at a line at y equals 1. That's going to be the line that we can't cross. And then we're going to have the 2 points that we graphed, 0, 1.5. So 0, 1.5 is right here. And 1, 1.18. So that's going to be really, really close to the asymptote line there. And negative 1, that's going to be a little bit over 1. So that will be right about there. And then we'll have a decay graph that comes through and looks like that. So then we got to look at our domain and range. So the domain for this is still going to be from negative infinity to infinity. The range, in this case, we're going to start at 1 and go up. So we're going to start at 1 and we're going to go up to infinity. Neither one's included. The asymptote is y equals 1. And our y-intercept is 0, 1.5. And we can take a look at what the transformation of this graph. So here we have the function y equals e to the x, which is our exponential growth. When we make that, we change that x to a negative x. What that does is it flips it over the y-axis. So now we're over here. We add that 1/2, and what that's going to do is it's going to shrink or pull our graph so it flattens out or gets closer to the y or to the x-axis down here. And then the last thing, when we add that plus 1, what that's going to do is it's going to shift it up 1. So where the asymptote before was 0, now everything is shifted up 1. So we have the point 0, 1.5, and then we have the point 1, 1.184, and then try to get another point here. For the x, we want to be around 1, which is a little bit above 2, which is where we have it graphed.